Hello, how is everybody? Um, we're gonna read two letters from Ruby Franke's family, and I'm gonna try and shut up about what is going through my mind. That's why I'm doing this in the morning, because yesterday when I read these letters, I was like, if I read it out loud, I'm just gonna cuss the whole time and say shit. So, this is for you guys out there to maybe, form your own opinion. And I'm sorry beforehand if I, slip and say something, because it is really hard to resist that and just read these letters, because, oh boy, there's a lot in these letters. A lot of telling things and a lot of context. Stuff that can actually provide context for Ruby Franke's actions. So let's see. The first one, the letter from the brother. Then there's the letter from the parents. So he writes mid-February 2024, Dear Judge and future Parole Board. Okay. Ruby Franke is my older sister by a year and a half. Growing up, we did a lot together and had a lot of shared experiences. Throughout her life, Ruby has always been an achiever and becomes recognized by authority figures. Her school teacher regularly commended her as she consistently earned high grades. Okay, sorry, I'm about to, but she was praised by her piano teacher as she excelled in piano performances as well as competition. Dude, if you want her to rot in prison, okay, which might not be such a bad thing given what she did. And I'm sorry, I'm talking, I can't. The fact, you addressing a judge and a future parole board, and you think that in the first paragraph of your whatever this is, it's a great idea to say how your sister that tortured consistently all of her children emotionally, but started to torture physically the youngest ones during the last summer, the summer of 2023. So just, less than 6 months? Okay, it was May, June, July, August. Then September, October, November, December, January, February. 7 months. 7 months had passed. Not even a year, these kids have not probably even started healing. They have a lifetime of efforts to heal ahead of them. It's probably gonna be their whole life. You talk about this bitch excelling at piano, how she was praised by her piano teacher. My God, who wrote this? A 12-year-old? My sister is good at piano. Oh my God, shut up. Okay, I'm really sorry. So, piano. Okay, we worked at a call center together where she received numerous employee recognitions. Ruby always jumps in with both her feet, whether swimming. Literally, dude, how old are you? Participating in the high school marching band, or at the school jazz, as the school jazz band pianist. Okay. That's the first paragraph. I mean, these people remain stuck in school where they excelled at hobbies? Like, is that like what, like, I don't know. Okay, second paragraph. During her career on YouTube, she often told me that her desire was to spread the message that, quote, mothers are important and that mothers have strength in nurturing their children, unquote. Whoa, so fucking lame. I never had any concern for her and her children. Asshole, never had any concern? Wow. And I was impressed with how generous and kind she has always been to my own children. Wow. That's the second paragraph. Third, Ruby and I both joined the Connections program. As per usual, Ruby absorbed all that was taught. She recognized the instructor, Miss Hildebrandt, Jody, manipulator, as a woman who stood in authority and was recognized by the state of Utah as someone who was a properly trained and licensed professional. That's the fourth paragraph. He's bringing authority in, okay, to say that, okay, it's like, oh, Ruby would always put the seatbelt on. She followed someone who was recognized by authority as a licensed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Professional in what? Counseling. Yeah. That type of counseling that ruined marriages and people's lives. That's what Jody was doing with Connections. Spelled with the X. Yeah. Connextions. Yeah. Connections. Like many authority figures in Ruby's life, Miss Hildebrandt saw Ruby's potential. She saw that Ruby was easily trainable and had the ability to influence others. She saw the millions of followers Ruby had worked hard to acquire on the YouTube and Instagram platforms. Okay. Many of the teachings from the Connections program were reasonable and good. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, as I later discovered, this is what made the program so dangerous. If it was entirely crazy, it wouldn't have had any influence. That is maybe the only thing that I would agree with. Yeah, if it was entirely crazy, it wouldn't have had any influence. Sure. But, they probably had influence on people that were like, am I the first in the class, Am I the best, Do I have the best grades? Am I the good girl here? I don't know, is that like a syndrome, Am I the good girl? Am I the good girl? Where's my bag of candy type of shit? Well, okay. This dude, of course, knows his sister well. But, like, he thinks that that's what matters the most, to define. I wouldn't even say like a good person, okay? I'm sorry, it might sound weird, but I wouldn't want to use the good person term here. Because when Jody got arrested, she kept saying, I'm a good person, I'm a good person, I'm a good person. She had a girl that haven't drunk or, eaten in days in her bathroom closet. Yeah, a 10-year-old girl, Ruby's daughter, that was sitting there and wouldn't even move. That's how brainwashed and afraid that girl was. Even when the cops brought her food, she would like carefully wait before eating. Like, whoa. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. The program was by all definitions a cult. Oh, thank you. Like, yes. I mean, I'm sure that many people thought that, like, right away. That all of that screamed cultish. Yeah. I mean, the drills that the kids were pushed to do, you know, lifting heavy objects, working out in the scorching sun. Yeah, they were sent outside in the Utah heat and forced to do repetitive tasks. Because that's how they thought, you know, like Satan would exit their bodies, their beings, I don't know, like these witches were basically on a witch hunt. But yeah, they should have looked in the mirror instead of focusing on innocent children that had no, oh boy, like, it's gut-wrenching how these two witches just like projected their own evil onto innocent kids. So yeah, sure, it was by all definitions a cult. Miss Hildebrand was the sole source of what was right or wrong and discouraged people from making their own life decisions. And this piece ends here, okay? I wasn't able to find like the full, I think the last paragraph is missing. But most of the madness is there. So this dude writes like a 12-year-old who thinks that, you know, the sister excelled at piano and had high grades and was always making sure that she was the first of the class, okay, even though, you know, the adult life is not about that. But these people just remained stuck in that dimension for whatever reason. And even the parents, okay, we're going to read the parents' letter. The first, one of the first things these people wrote was, "We're on a mission in Serbia." You know, it's like, are we the first in the class? You know, we're on a mission. We're doing charity. Are we the... Fuck you. Your grandkids might need some support right now because they've been tortured for months. Oh, you're in Serbia? Like, what do you want? Again, a bag of candy? Oh, boy. Let's read the parents' letter. So... Okay. So this is written on the 11th of February by Chad and Jennifer Griffiths, Ruby's parents. Dear Judge and Parole Board, we are Ruby Franke's parents. We are currently serving a full-time mission in Serbia. Yeehaw. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's morning and, you know, the family's waking up, so let's get back to it. Okay, let's take a deep breath here. Before Ruby became involved with Jody Hildebrand, she was a wonderful mother, daughter, sister, and member of the church. Wonderful mother, no. She had the cruel streak in her way before Jody came to the picture. Okay? Chad and Jennifer. Your daughter had a mean freaking streak in her before Jody. Yeah, she did. And I'm sorry. It's my personal opinion only, but I think Ruby saw her children as enemies to her excellent grades in everything in life up until that point, okay? This bitch wanted to excel as a mother, not thinking that it's not about fucking excelling, it's about being okay. Okay? Like a 10 plus mother, like where? That's where it leads to. Like being excellent in what? It's quite the contrary. It's about like, okay, well, we, try to do it and let's see. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be like, like a super clean house, like a super whatever perfect appearance, or the super family, like picture perfect. I mean, like, it's supposed to be a bit messy and not everybody will agree. People will not walk around the house like little soldiers, sitting down, paying attention 100% at any given moment. Like, come on, okay, Ruby? These people are fucked up in the head. Like, I can't. I'm sorry. Wonderful mother. Like, I really. I'm about to throw up. Wonderful mother. She never got it. Like, being a 6+ mom, it's already like a lot, She wanted to be a 10+ mom. That's why she tortured her kids. It looked like a freaking Spartan education, This is Sparta. You have to be the perfect children. Otherwise, you're going to ruin my perfect scores in life that I obtained so far. Did you know that I was praised by my piano teacher? Oh my God. Like, just shut up, Ruby. So she was wonderful in everything. Wow. The delusion. Like, all she ever wanted from the time she was a little girl was a family to love and nurture. And she wanted to excel in that, yeah, at all costs. Her kids were risking to die because at one point Jody and Ruby wanted to buy a place even more isolated than Jody's house. Okay? Ruby's residence was in Springville, Utah. Jody's residence was in Ivins, Utah. 260 something, 270 miles away from Springville. Why were Ruby's kids in Jody's house in Ivins? Why? Because it was isolated. Okay, and there they could do drills with the kids and have them do all kinds of brainwashing physical activities. Like the diaries of Ruby tell it all. Like the girl having to lift heavy boxes, running up and down the stairs, the boy being out in scorching heat because she thought that would cast the Satan out, because the demons and Satan hate light. Oh, it was like a lot. It was heavy to read those fucking pages from the diaries, like how she was describing the abuse, convinced that was, she wanted to torture sin out of her children. And she was willing to go to any lengths. Any. They would have tortured them to death. When the boy finally found the neighbor who opened the door, he was in real bad shape. He hadn't eaten for days or drunk. He was so skinny that the neighbor started crying while he was calling 911. Yeah, Ruby's son, that was 12 at the time, knocked on the neighbor's door, And he was so used to the abuse that he was like asking the neighbor for favors, like if he could please like take him to police because it was a personal matter. The boy was like very soft-spoken and articulate. In that situation, he wasn't screaming, help me, they just tortured me. It was normal for him. He was asking for like, could you do me a favor and maybe take me to police because there's like a personal matter. And he was talking like this, like very calmly. He wouldn't want to say to the neighbor why he had wounds on his ankles, why he had duct tape around his legs. He had duct tape around his legs. And he had wounds with cayenne pepper in them. Bloody hell. Okay. And these they're fuckers, right? 7 months later, that she was an excellent mother before Jody came to the picture. No, she wasn't. Okay? She had been putting her kids through emotional strain since the day one, since they were born. Okay? So, all she ever wanted since she was a little girl was a family to love and nurture. No, she wanted bags of candy for excelling at everything. That's what Ruby wanted. When she began having troubles with her teenage son, Chad, she sought out a family therapist / counselor to help them. Yeah, do you remember Chad sleeping on a beanbag? Like, I didn't know this. I came across this story a week ago. And what shocked me was Jody's niece's testimony, Jesse's. This Jesse Hildebrand, who was also tortured some 15 or so years ago in the very same manner by Jody. And Jessie eventually escaped, but it ruined her whole life. And she's speaking up because she's hoping to like spare the children at least the ordeal of being seen as deviant and evil possessed, just like she was. Jessie was never believed when she first started running to police and started talking to others. Jody would make sure that Jessie was never believed. She would always set her up, and even when police was about to believe Jessie after they spoke with Jody, they sent Jessie back to Jody. They were like, nah, your aunt is not that bad, Probably you're, an evil, deviant teenager. Like, how did this bitch do it? I don't know, but, okay. So, when she began having troubles with her teenage son, Chad, and sought out, Jody. Who was a family therapist and counselor, like a licensed one. How could have that happened? Fuck. I mean, all the people involved said that the church supported Jody, but I don't think they knew what levels of fucked up Jody was capable of. But I don't know. We noticed a shift in Ruby's thinking the summer of 2020. They're really saying that up until then she was a wonderful mother. Wow. She, what was it? Her daughter was 6, 5. She was talking about cutting her daughter's favorite teddy bear's head off. She was shaving her daughter's hair to punish her, to strip her of her identity. And her daughter was under the age of 10. Can't believe it. Okay, so according to these people, Ruby was wonderful up until 2020, and then she cut ties to us, to them, her siblings and close friends. For 3 years, what brief communication we had with her, she accused us of either things that never happened, or she grossly exaggerated the events that did. She was delusional. Wow. Yeah, she sure was. And so is who wrote this letter, but, you know, she was so deeply brainwashed we could not recognize her. Let's keep this in mind for a second, okay? She was brainwashed. Let's not forget this. Because there is something, okay, that comes after this that will prove quite the contrary, that she was not. We received a postcard from Ruby 2 months after the terrible news of the children. Mind you, these motherfuckers are in Serbia doing a mission, okay, waiting for their bags of candy. Being like, oh, we're, you know, so charitable, we go to Serbia to serve other communities. Your own grandchildren have been traumatized for life, and you're in Serbia. I mean, with your mindset, it's probably for the best, you know, that you're not around these kids, because what help could you be? Like, none. But still, it's like, okay, like, bags of candy coming, you know, yeah, stay in Serbia. So that you can be the freaking charity workers of the year again and put it on your, whatever it is, your freaking chalkboard of achievements, where it's like, we used to excel at piano and this and that, and now we're charitable people of the year. Yay. Another bag of candy. Ooh, va bene. I can't, like, they summed all the horrors of the past months that the youngest Ruby's children went through in this fucking sentence. We received a postcard from Ruby 2 months after the terrible news of the children. Meaning, the youngest boy ran to a neighbor, asked for help, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to check if this thing is still recording, because my phone is dying. I'm so sorry. It's freaking hard, you know? I mean, hard to read, but what was really hard was what these kids went through. So okay, let's just continue. I mean, this is outrageous. It's like, oh my god, you know, like, if these two were reading it somewhere, you know, out loud, people will be throwing eggs and tomatoes at them. Come on, like, terrible news of the children. Okay. We read her tender apology and humble acceptance of accountability. I want to throw up, like, yeah. I want to throw up, like, this, it's, But, remember the sentences in the previous paragraph, how she was brainwashed? So deeply brainwashed we could not recognize her, she was delusional. And then, not even 2 months pass, and she is fully back to normal, whatever that was, okay, because it was not normal, but back to whatever it was before. Just like that. No, her children were brainwashed, and it doesn't take 2 months to snap out of it. It takes years of help, therapy, and people slowly walking who was brainwashed through this other path where the feelings of the brainwashed people are so timid, you know. It's like, I doubt myself at this point. I don't know what's fucking going on. You know, I'm wrong about everything. And it needs people that are able to walk the brainwashed children through the path of like leaving some of that behind, some of it, because it's almost impossible to leave all of it behind at first. That's how long it takes. That's how difficult it is, because people start to doubt themselves. Like Sherry actually left an interview, the oldest daughter. It's online. She did a podcast in which she described her first year of university, like when she left the house finally and cut ties with her family. She publicly said that she was not in contact with her family anymore. She, at that point, was like feeling better, but she described that the whole year was tumultuous, like how she would feel constantly bad about herself. She felt like she was not empathetic enough, she was selfish, she was this and that, while all the way she was just feeling normal things. That's how much they fucked her up, and she was a lot older than the youngest kids, and she was away from the house a lot. And still, it took her, like the first year was just about like kind of starting to timidly trust her gut again. It will take years for these kids to be able the same. And these parents of Ruby wrote that she instantly snapped out of it and was instantly regretful and apologetic and blah 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 and so she was never brainwashed. Come on. Okay? Because if she was, it would have taken a lot longer. Sorry, parents of Ruby. So she expressed her gratitude for being incarcerated and felt the mighty wake-up call. She expressed her gratitude for being incarcerated and felt the mighty wake-up call was a huge blessing. Okay. Since then, we have seen a return to the Ruby we once knew. God, yeah, again, the best girl in the class, yeah, praised by piano teachers, the best mom, the best everything, yeah. I mean, there's a saying, okay, to throw away the child with the dirty water. I don't know if it's like that in every country, but here where we live, it's a saying, okay, like you're washing the child and you throw him away or her away with the dirty water. It means that, whatever the child does is never going to be good enough for you. Like the standard is so fucking perfect that, that's what Ruby went by. Like she was ready to torture her kids to death because they were never good enough. They were never like pure, or whatever it was. Oh, I can't, like, it's giving me chills, Literally, this woman wanted to torture the sin out of her kids, and she was willing to take them to an even more remote location together with Jody. If I'm not wrong, they wanted to buy a place in Arizona, okay? Like, to have the kids do even more drills and deprive them even more of, I don't know what was left to deprive them of, like, not much, because they were not feeding them even, not giving them water. And on top of it, they had to do these heavy drills in the sun or lift heavy things. And Ruby would just constantly write in a diary how they were whining about it and how she talked to them as if they were demented. Like, it was her son's birthday that summer, and she was like, he doesn't even know what month it is. And I was like, bitch, if you don't give me food, okay, and I'm an adult-ass woman, if you don't give me food for a week, and you have me do some heavy drills, and you keep me out in the sun, I'll probably not know what months it is either, if you torture me and deprive me of, like, not the comfort, the bare essential stuff. Shit, I'm not gonna know what months it is either. Come on, like, oh, that's so fucked up. Like, how dare they whine? She should go through the similar, like, sorry, okay? Like, she should do that. do heavy drills in the sun, and then she can talk about mighty wake-up calls. I really fucking hope they jump her in prison, like they fuck her up, like, I don't know, that she needs some dental work at least, so that she knows what a mighty wake-up call really is. This is bullshit. So, okay, she expressed her gratitude for being incarcerated, felt the mighty wake-up call was a huge blessing, whatever. Since then, we have seen the return of the Ruby we once knew. Her thoughts and views are her own now. Wow, the big fucking improvement. This bitch is a manipulator too, like, there's phone calls online. Her and her husband, Kevin is another dude that, like, okay, I hope Kevin receives a mighty wake-up call too, kind of like, you know, the one that you need dental work for after. Kevin wanted Sherry arrested because she came to the house to pick up some items, and he said to the cops that she was stealing and should be arrested. His oldest daughter. There's webcam footage, like the body cam footage of it, online. And then Kevin lied about it. His lawyer lied about it. His lawyer said how he was trying to have a relationship with his children again. This is how he was doing it. Like, he called the cops on his own daughter because she came there and picked up some hard drives, or, you know, like a tablet or something, like an electronic device. And the body cam footage is like him asking the cop, can you explain to me again how this is not a robbery? With that fucking, like, you know, wow. And the cop's like, oh, you don't know? Well, dude, she's your daughter, so, you know, you could have asked her. She wasn't stealing anything. She was interested in those things. If you wanted those things, you that have not lived here for a year because you abandoned the family the year prior, and she was probably here more often than you do in the past year. Like, what are you talking about, dude, okay? And you could have talked to her, so what the fuck? Like, the cop was literally explaining to him the basics, you know, of, like, how parenting could possibly work. These people are, like, out of this world. Like, they don't, I don't know. He wanted his oldest daughter arrested, so the phone calls between them when Ruby got detained, she had not had any court hearings yet. It was like right after her arrest. The phone calls, it was like, I'll do everything to support you, you know, and we have to stay in the truth. Like, in what truth? This bitch, she was like, oh my god, I feel compassion for the cops that are here for the other women that have been hurt in their life. Bitch, you tortured children, okay, for months. What are you talking about? Compassion for what? For cops and other adult-ass women in the prison where you're at? How about your own kids? She said that God told her that the kids will be removed. Like, oh my god, they were so, like, fucked up that they just had to, like, be removed from your life because they would never be perfect, and having them around would just never make you a perfect mom, you know, like the perfect piano player or the perfect whatever the fuck you thought you were, that you probably never were even, but, you know, it would just ruin your life grades, okay? Like, these fucking people behave like school children. Like, they're like, I don't know, what's your mental age, Ruby? Like 11 or something, you know? Like, me, am I the good girl here? She actually said during that phone call, I'm a good girl, I don't do naughty things. Really, it's like, what are you? Literally like 12? So, okay. So the arrest was a huge blessing. Yeah, sure. I mean, it was for us, you know, for the people out there, probably. I mean, for children above all. But Since then, we have seen a return to the Ruby we once knew. Her thoughts are her own now. Wow, what a big fucking improvement. Like the phone calls with Kevin and like improvement where? Not even that. Her love, appreciation, and commitment to her family is stronger than it has ever been. Like, I can't read. I mean, fuck you. Like, Ruby is more concerned about her eternal salvation than her imprisonment. Oh, whatever. Okay. Her testimony of the Savior. They never call God God. They call God the Savior with the capital S, the Savior. I don't know. I guess like their church has it different. I don't know, but and his atoning power means everything to her. Blah blah whatever. Okay. As her mother and father, we plead you to show her as much mercy as you possibly can. Okay. This is the most fucked up part. I mean, I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna say anything because it's appalling, like how these people think. Okay. Hopefully, in time, she will have a relationship with her children. Like never in a million years. Like never. And they will remember the mother she once was to them. She was always awful to her kids, okay? Emotionally abusive and manipulative. So, okay, like that's not gonna fucking happen. And will find it in their hearts to forgive her. No, that's not essential to heal. All these kids need to do is heal. They don't need to forgive shit. They just need to let go of it. But forgive, no. If they could forget, that would be wonderful. But forgive, no, that's not essential in order to heal. This would be the greatest healing balm for all of them. Nope, you're wrong. Chad and Jennifer. But it's not a surprise that you're wrong. Of course you are. Like, okay. So, I'm gonna post these in the community tab or put them in this recording. I'm gonna try to put these images there parallel to this recording. That's probably gonna be a good idea because I just talked way too much. I'm sorry. I'm not sure at this point if this is even like a good recording because I just couldn't stop. I couldn't shut up and yeah. Couldn't just read it. I'm sorry. It's too much. Like, it's not a lot. It's like, wow. But it gives us the context. Like, where does this fucked up shit actually come from? So, I'm going to try and put the images there so that, you figure out my reading really sucks. You can mute it and read it for yourself. Pause it and read it. That's maybe better. And please let me know what you think. This is just, it makes my blood boil. Like, it's beyond, I don't know, like, I don't care, if there's like any like fixing of these fucked up mind processes that these people have or always had. I'm not interested in that. I'm like, these kids are hopefully healing a little bit already and will keep healing away from these people. So actually, the thing that these people are in Serbia, I mean, whatever, like, you're not gonna be of any help or any use to these children. But last thing, I caught like a Skype call between a journalist, a prosecutor, I don't know who it was. They were probably all involved in, probably had some roles in court, all these people. Maybe one of them was retired, I don't know. But there was also a person from Utah, like a woman, who was, again, I'm sorry, I don't remember like what her role is in the judicial system, but the other two people, the prosecutor, I remember that the other lady was a prosecutor, like an ex-prosecutor. She was retired as well. And this dude, he was, I don't know, like an expert on law probably. These two people were so serious about it. They were like, we hope these bitches get a life sentence, like both of these people. They were like, it's, you know. And just to explain it real quick, Jody and Ruby got 4 sentences of 1 to 15 years. Consecutive. Okay, it's not concurrent, it's consecutive. So it means that the range becomes from 4 years to 60. But with this modality, the limit is 30 years. They will not serve 60 years because the law itself, when it happens like this, and you have more than one sentence that adds to another sentence, there's a limit. It just doesn't keep adding up. So it's not going to be 60 years. It's going to be maximum 30 years because the law says it. So from 4 to 30, okay? And the Utah woman in this Skype call, she was like, oh, don't worry, they're going to do like not less than 10. I'm like, in 10 years, these bitches could be out? Like, no. Like, please, like, no. Jody tortured her own niece like 15 years prior to this. No one fucking did anything because she manipulated people into believing that it was okay. Jody was never, Jessie, her niece, was never believed. Jessie's interviews are the shit. Like, if you listen to her, you'll instantly understand who Jody is and how fucked up her behavior is and how dangerous it is. So it's like, nah, please, like, in 10 years, this bitch will be out. No, that's not possible, right? Like, it cannot happen. So, you know, this type of interaction, people from Utah and people from other states, it kind of gives us an idea of how in Utah it's obviously different. It's like, don't worry, they'll do like not less than 10. And you're like, they're not gonna do 30? Because 30 is not enough for this shit. Like, never enough. You know, so that's the context. And the context is pretty unsettling. Like, these letters, it's, wow. That's beyond fucked up. Like, it's beyond fucked up on so many levels that it's like, please help, you know? Like, it's beyond any comprehension. It's like, okay, you want it to be perfect and everything, but that doesn't give you the right to torture people. Like, you just, my God, like, And I do hope you get jumped in prison, Ruby and Jody, both of you bitches. I hope someone, gives you the mighty wake-up call, because this is insane. And there will be a lot to say about Kevin, this shady figure in the background. Like, he, hopefully he is also kept away from his children. Like, he wanted his oldest daughter arrested. He talked about the children as if they were constantly, you know, stressing out his beautiful wife. Like, fuck you, Kevin. And please let me know what you think. If you have any other info, or you came across something that looked important and you would like to share, please do so. And yeah, maybe we can have a conversation about this. But for now, I think I'm gonna pause from this because it's a lot. It's a lot. And personally, I hope and pray that like 30 is gonna be the number that these bitches serve. But I don't know. It looks like every state has its own rules, its own approach to these things. What the Utah woman said, it hit me, it really surprised me. It was like, how come, the people that are in the judicial system in other states are like, what? These bitches should be doing life sentences. Because if someone else kidnapped these children and did what these bitches did to them, tortured them, starved them, didn't give them water even, it looked like a fucking concentration camp, okay? If a stranger did it to these children, they would be doing life now, okay? Not from 4 to 30 max. No. So, let me know what you think, please. And yes, have a good day, or at least an okay day. Take care. Bye.